Hello and welcome to this edition of the Sports 360 Degree. Today we dive into the electrifying T20 World Cup clash between arch rivals India and Pakistan set to unfold in New York on Sunday. We will also explore how Spanish football giants Real Madrid are back in the Galacticos business with the sensational signing of the French superstar Kylian Mbappe. Plus, Sunil Chhetri bids farewell to the international football after a career spanning 2 decades, living as India's highest goal scorer. All this and more in this action-packed edition of the Sports 360 Degree. But first up, the updates from the T20 World Cup. Arch rivals India and Pakistan are set to clash at the Nassau County International Cricket Stadium in New York on Sunday in the T20 World Cup. The 34,000-seater stadium is expected to be packed to capacity for what has been dubbed as a Super Bowl on steroids. DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya reports with more details.
It's a sporting rivalry like no other. This weekend, cricket giants India and Pakistan are set to clash in a historic match in New York for the ongoing ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. For the first time ever, these neighboring nations will face off on US soil as the T20 tournament makes its American debut. Both India and Pakistan have claimed the T20 World Cup once. India, the inaugural edition in 2007 and Pakistan in 2009. These teams have collided 7 times in the T20 World Cup. India have dominated with 6 victories, including a thrilling bowl-out and a grand finale in 2007 and Virat Kohli's sensational heist in Melbourne in 2022. Pakistan's lone win came in 2021, where they shattered India's World Cup winning streak with a dominant performance in Dubai. As India takes the field, they are driven by a thirst for a major trophy, their last being the 2013 Champions Trophy. With Rohit Sharma at the helm, Virat Kohli's experience and Surya Kumar Yadav's explosive batting and the explosive bowling by Bumrah, the men in blue are ready to ignite the stage. On the other side, Pakistan, led by the consistent Babar Azam, is on a mission for redemption. With the batting lineup anchored by Azam and Mohammad Rizwan and the youthful energy of Saim Ayub, their ambitions are clear. Their fierce bowling attack led by Shaheen Afridi blends pace with experience, making them a formidable opponent. The stage is set. The players are ready. The world watches as India and Pakistan gear up for the battle like no other in a city that never sleeps. Tune in to witness history in the making. This is Tapas Bhattacharya along with my camera person S. Jaishankar reporting live from New York.
The biggest cricket rivalry is headed to the Big Apple and we can't keep calm. India is set to go deep in this tournament with their players looking match sharp, having only just completed the 2024 Indian Premier League season. Pakistan, on the other hand, arrive in New York likely still feeling the effects of their massive opening gate disappointment, and their performance in that match combined with their recent record suggests they will struggle to overcome men in blue in this one. To put the things in perspective, we are joined by former cricketer Ajay Mehra and our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya from New York. Tapas, first I will come to you. India had a practice session, and what are the points you picked up from the practice sessions? Also, the skipper Rohit Sharma injured his left thumb during the practice session. So, what is the latest update on that also?
Right, so there is no injury per se. We saw, Rohit Sharma, in fact, doing a full practice session, and then also, he was playing football with his teammates in the other part of the ground, the other practice ground where they were doing. In terms of injury concern, there is not much there. What happened was during the match against Ireland, he got stuck, but that part is done and dusted now. We believe that he is absolutely fine and ready to go, especially against our rivals Pakistan. Now, coming back to the point, you mentioned that they had a major practice session. Actually, they did. We saw both Virat Kohli and Surya Kumar Yadav along with Rohit Sharma had a prolonged session with the bat, and not just from one end. They batted from different ends. They try to combine their different line and length. What they tried to actually practice a lot more is to make sure that they told the practice bowlers to bowl from the left arm, the other side over the wicket, round the wicket in fact, and bowl more onto the stumps and away from the batsman, to mimic what Mohammad Amir would do and Shaheen Afridi would do, because Pakistan have two left arm classy pacers, and we have seen especially Virat Kohli in the longer format, in the T20 format, we have seen sometimes he struggled against Afridi and Mohammad Amir. In fact, one of the reasons why Mohammad Amir is in this particular T20 squad is to negate Virat Kohli. Remember the last time these two teams played was in T20 International was way back in Melbourne, where Virat Kohli came out with that amazing knock. So to negate Virat Kohli, we believe that Mohammad Amir has been given a go-ahead along with Shaheen Afridi. So to mitigate the impact of both left-arm spinners, Indian team management mimic those conditions, and also the Nassau cricket ground that we saw the couple of matches there. In fact, the three matches so far has played there. We saw the kind of conditions that the pitches are there's uneven bounce there, and we saw how some of the balls kept low, some of the balls went literally searing away. ICC has already said that they are looking into the condition and they're trying to make the pitch better for that mercurial clash between the two super giants of cricket. So that part they are taking care of. But from India's perspective, Indian batsmen are making sure that they mimic the ground condition, they mimic the pitch condition to make sure that they are ready to face any eventualities as and when they come. Pakistan do have a great bowling lineup, but we saw against United States they faltered, and that's something they are we have to understand what kind of Pakistan will turn up for that particular match. We know that Pakistan team are blow hot, blow cold kind of a team. On their day, they can defeat any team, and on certain days, they can capitulate to any team for that matter. So, which team comes up on Sunday, that remains to be seen. Narayan.
So, which teams will come on top, it remains to be seen. But Ajay, the India and Pakistan battle in cricket, we can call it the mother of all battles, the El Clasico of cricket. How significant is the India-Pakistan rivalry in the context to the global sports, considering the fact that USA is hosting the game for the first time, and what makes it out as a pure emotional match?
Narayan, first of all, earlier we used to have, a lot of India-Pakistan matches in the 80s, in the 90s as well, in the 70s. But, now lately you don't have too many clashes. They meet in the World Events, in the ICC events. So, that's the thing, that you don't get too many matches. And everyone, when the schedule was, out for this World Cup, everybody wanted, which date this match was going to be, India-Pakistan. And of course, at New York, it's a lovely stadium. The only thing, as Taposh very rightly mentioned, the pitch conditions aren't probably ideal, but this is going to be a high voltage clash. And, as far as Pakistan are concerned, you never know how they're going to play, because it's just, sometimes they play, super cricket, sometimes they're very, very low as well. You saw in the last game, the way they were beaten by USA, they played some ordinary cricket. So, this clash holds a lot of importance. And, it's the oldest rivalry if you see. We know about Australia, England, the rivalry they have, India, Pakistan. So I think, everybody's watching for this game. They're watching who's going to come out, and, make no bones about it, because sometimes, players become heroes after this game. We saw Virat Kohli, the way he performed in Melbourne, the way he played that innings, that six, always in the mind of everyone. So, these moments, you see, that World Cup, that was a 50-over World Cup at Bangalore when Amir Sohail and Venkatesh Prasad had a tussle. So those events, those, between battles, between a big battle, those are the events that everybody's waiting for. So I think this clash is going to be mouth-watering. Of course, Pakistan will be, keyed up, because they know they lose this game, they might be out of the World Cup as well. So it's going to be a big clash for them. India, on the other hand, I feel, Narayan, is the better team. I honestly feel that this Indian side, the kind of balance you have, the kind of all-rounders you have, the kind of batters you have in Virat, and Rohit Sharma, and could be the last World Cup for someone like even, Rohit Sharma. So I think this kind of side you have, it's a much better outfit than Pakistan. But Pakistan, you can't take them easy. You can't be complacent because on a given day, they can be a really good side.
Definitely, on a given day, what can they do? It's very unpredictable kind of thing. Tapas, you are covering this tournament from the ground zero, and you also mentioned about the tricky pitches. So the pitches at the Nassau Cricket Stadium and the pitches at the practice facility, how they are behaving? Are there some noticeable differences or similarities in the characteristics? So what potential impact might these pitch conditions have on the match?
Chalk and cheese, Narayan. The practice pitches are what you call proper pitches. The one in the cricket ground is a drop-in pitch from Australia. Now the problem that happens is that the drop-in pitch, when it came, it required bedding in with the outfield condition. Ajay knows that if there is a new pitch that gets laid, you need to play more matches. At least 10 to 12 practice matches needs to be played on that ground. That the pitch gets settled down. There are unevenness because the pitch is not yet flat out. It's not yet settled down in the true sense. And that's one of the reasons why you see prodigious swing, prodigious movement of the pitch. Then the movement, there is a bounce or uneven bounce that is accompanying it. We saw how Rohit Sharma was hit on his on his arm. So that part is there. But again, we spoke to some of the players and former players also. They said that this condition is for both the teams. It will be for both India and Pakistan. Now, the important part is that the toss will become very crucial. If it's overcast condition, which we believe that it will be overcast condition, there might be some chances of rain also tomorrow. So if that's the case, then the pitch will remain what you call soggy. It will assist the pacers, and whosoever wins the toss will like to make early inroads. And we saw that a match against India versus Ireland, and also the same one South Africa versus Sri Lanka. If you have the if you have the bowling strength, if you can make the early inroads, and it becomes very difficult for the team to recover after that. But again, as I mentioned, the condition will remain same for both the teams. It is how both teams react to the condition. You mentioned, Indian team was practicing in a different pitch, but they made the practice pitch in such a manner that it mimics. Like for instance, they told the practice bowlers, or for that matter, the throwers, to bowl at a particular length, and then obviously push did a lot of bounce. They played a lot of bouncy balls. So they kind of try to mimic the bowling of the Pakistani bowlers. You have Haris Rauf also who tend to hit the deck hard. So they try to mimic that kind of action also. In many ways, they are prepared. And as Ajay mentioned, this is one of the most balanced side. You have Arshdeep Singh, so for that matter, Akshar Patel coming at 8 down. So you have the depth in the batting. You have almost 4 bowling all-rounders. You have Shivam Dube. You have Hardik Pandya, as your pace bowling all-rounder. You have Ravindra Jadeja. You have Akshar Patel, who are spin bowling all-rounders, and it gives a lot of depth in the team lineup. And that's one of the reasons why Indian team goes into this particular tie as favorite. But again, as Ajay mentioned, it's a new match, it's a new beginning, and India-Pakistan, anything can happen. So fans are, they are on the tenterhook all the time. They want India to win for obvious reasons, but you can't, rule out Pakistan. They are one team who can blow hot and cold any time of the day. So that's one part of it. Just to put it in perspective, the security aspect also in this match is quite high. There is a threat perception in Nassau Cricket County, and we spoke to the county executive, and he said that they didn't spell out the details of the security arrangement, but we saw the massive deployment, and he also said that there will be massive deployment. They are working in tandem with the federal agencies like FBI to coordinate the security arrangements here in this particular part.
So in a high voltage Classico, we can say the Classico of the cricket, the security has also been beefed up. So Ajay, if you considering the India has played 2 matches at the Nassau Cricket Stadium and 1 warm-up game against Bangladesh and 1 official match against Ireland, how might this experience benefit the marquee clash to the Indian team? On the other hand, Pakistan has only played 1 match at a different venue in Dallas. So where the conditions are notably different. Could this be a disadvantage for Pakistan compared to India?
Absolutely, Narayan. That's a very good point you made, Narayan, because, once you play at a venue, being a cricketer myself, I know that once you play at a venue, you're accustomed to the conditions. As a fielder, the fielding position, the dimensions. As a batter, the Indian team knows the conditions there. They know it's going to be a variable bounce, as Taposh very rightly mentioned. It's not an easy service to bat on. So I think that's a big advantage. And also the fact that the travel time, because from Dallas to travel to New York is almost 3.5, 4 hours. So, Pakistan played a game, they lost there. So then again, traveling, India are stationed there. So all those small things, make a big difference. And this, Pakistan, as I mentioned, you never know what they are, what they'll bring up. But India, I feel, are a better side. But not to forget also, Narayan, that toss might be an important factor. As Taposh mentioned, overcast conditions. And it's an early start. It's a 10:30 a.m. start in New York. So the team win the toss. I just feel they're going to bowl first in these conditions. And once you're bowling first, you know the target. If DLS comes into play, you know the target. So a toss might be a critical factor in this game. Normally, T20s, you have absolutely belter of surfaces. We saw in the IPL as well. But this surface is going to be a tricky one. So I feel toss, remember, is going to be a very, very important part in this game. So toss is not in your hand, but sometimes, it is to your advantage when you win the toss.
Rightly said, Ajay. Toss will be an important part of this match. Tapas, if you talk about, as you mentioned, that the conditions are very tricky, and if you talk about the pitch, it has also, we can say, there's a fluctuation in the pitch. So if you take a look at the Indian batting lineup, we have the test playing batsmen in the top 3 and the way they have performed in the recent past. So it's a game of a skill in such condition, and looking at the Indian batting lineup, do you think that in such conditions India has an upper hand?
Well, right now, India-Pakistan match, if you take a close look at the last few years, you will say that India has always been a favorite, and they have the upper hand. But again, it's a new match, it's a new condition, and anyone can come up triumph any time. But yes, you mentioned it right. There are 2 classic batsmen. You have Rohit Sharma, you have Virat Kohli, and both starting the innings together. Though that's a huge benefit for India. We saw yesterday both batters play extensively. They practice extensively. And Rohit in the last match he scored a 50, and one somehow believes the way we saw Virat Kohli practice, and in the initial few overs when he was practicing, we saw he was a little scratchy, and then he got into the groove, and then we saw the way he was hitting the ball, and it looked like he is there. And tomorrow and Sunday, it's the Super Sunday, might just be a Super Kohli day. We have to wait and see, but I'm having a gut feeling that it's going to be Kohli day against Pakistan, and it will be quite interesting because Pakistan, just to negate, as I mentioned, Kohli, got Mohammad Amir in the squad. It will be interesting to see how that plays, because Kohli does have a bit of a vulnerability outside the off stump with the ball pitches around the middle stump, off stump line, and jag back, not just jag back on jag, and probably at times jag back or probably leave the batsman. So he does have that slight problem with the ball leaving. So it will be interesting to see how he negates that. He practiced hard. We saw that. Whether that practice will be will come out and he will be able to make the most of it, that remains to be seen. You mentioned of the fact that India has played one match in this, and it does give them an additional advantage because they know the pitch, they know the condition. The outfield is not as fast as probably you had it in Dallas. So Pakistan, who were coming from Dallas, they saw the pitch and the condition, outfield conditions were very different from what it is there. The outfield conditions are quite rough. It's not that fast outfield that we tend to see in T20 cricket. It's soggy, and Indian team has already played that. They understand which end of which bowler to bowl at. We saw in the match against Ireland when Arshdeep was spraying the ball, and giving the wides, he was changed and he was given a different end altogether. For Pakistan, who will be starting their first official practice today, they have already come here in New York. They will be starting their first practice in a short while from now. It will be interesting to see how they cope up. They have that game plan strategy. Also, Narayan, we are getting reports that there are some sort of a groupism that is currently going on in the Pakistan squad. A lot of players are not happy with Babar Azam. There is a group which is with Babar Azam, and there is a group which is against Babar Azam. So that doesn't help the matter for Pakistan side. True. And we have seen that before any particular World Cup match, this kind of reports, this kind of things come out in the open. That doesn't help the Pakistan side at all.
True, Tapas, as you mentioned, that if there is a faction in the team, definitely it's not good for the team. And also the captaincy of the Babar Azam in the past, in the last match also is under scrutiny. So in that area, also Pakistan can work. So thanks, gentlemen, for just analyzing this match and putting the perspective in the right place. So thanks you for joining us and helping us to analyze this match. So shifting focus to football now, Sunil Chhetri's retirement marks the end of an era in Indian football. With an outstanding record of 94 international goals amassed over more than 2 decades, Chhetri stands as a revered figure in the Indian football history. His journey marked by perseverance, excellence, and has set a benchmark for the future generation of footballs.
India's legendary footballer and icon Sunil Chhetri retired from international football, drawing curtains on a 19-year-long career. An emotional Chhetri played his last game against Kuwait in a World Cup qualifier at the Salt Lake Stadium, which ended on a 0-0 draw. Thousands cheered a tearful Sunil Chhetri off the pitch after his last match, bringing to a close an international career which put him among the world's all-time leading scorers. Nearly 59,000 fans came to watch the captain's swan song in Kolkata, a remarkable turnout in a country where football comes a distant second to cricket in popularity. An emotional Chhetri waved to crowds and pressed his palms together in thanks as he departed the field. He wiped away tears as he walked through an honor guard formed by his teammates to see him off the pitch. In an emotional night, Chhetri said, "The ones who have watched in videos, the ones who have taken autographs, the old-time supporters, thank you everyone. This 19 years would not have been possible without each and every one of you, and I genuinely mean it. I want to speak from my heart. Sobhai bhalo thakben, khushi thakben. Everyone stay well, everyone stay happy." Chhetri started his professional football career in Kolkata 22 years ago and hung up his boots on the international stage in the same city, the city of joy, with tears in his eyes. Chhetri's retirement marks the end of an era in Indian football. With an outstanding record of 94 international goals amassed over more than 2 decades, the 39-year-old forward is only behind Cristiano Ronaldo, Iran's retired Ali Dai, and Lionel Messi in the all-time international scorers list. Among his many achievements, Chhetri played a pivotal role in India's victory at the Nehru Cup in 2007, 2009 and 2012, showcasing his remarkable skills and contribution to the team's success. Apart from this, he also helped India win the 2011, 2015, 2021 and 2023 SAF championships. Chhetri led India to victory in the 2008 AFC Challenge Cup with a hat-trick in the final, which helped India qualify for its first AFC Asian Cup in 27 years. Chhetri's achievements are particularly extraordinary given the context of Indian football, which has majorly struggled to make a mark throughout the talismanic striker's career. Chhetri stands as a revered figure in Indian football history. His journey, marked by perseverance and excellence, has set a benchmark for future generations of footballers. As Chhetri retires, he leaves behind a legacy that has deeply inspired numerous fans and athletes. DD India wishes adieu to the nation's football icon. Sports Desk, DD India.
So it's an end of era in the Indian football with the retirement of the Sunil Chhetri. So that's all in this edition of the Sports 360 Degree. We hope you enjoyed it. Join us every week as we bring you the pulse of the sports world. Until then, stay healthy and keep cheering your favorite teams and athletes. Namaskar.